Raila wants to be the AU chairperson. The Kenyan youth wish him dust. Raila, who has unsuccessfully run for presidency 5 times, is now vying for Africa's top position in a bid to checkmate his local political arch-rival, the current president, William Ruto. Despite Raila checking all qualification boxes and having the backing of the president, who also wants to edge him out of the Kenyan political scene in a bid to safeguard his 2027 political ambition, the Kenyan youth and a substantial number of the Kenyan civilian population want Raila heartbroken. Such being the case locally, the East African community is however backing Raila by all means. Presidents like Museveni, Kagame, Samia Suluhu, and latest South Sudan have declared publicly their support for Raila.
The Luo-speaking communities drawn from Kenya, Uganda, the Central African region and the North of Africa. Uganda President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and President William Ruto in a traditional field festival in Kotramogi in Siaya County. The traditional backdrops provided a perfect campaign grounds for Odinga's AUC candidature just over a month to the February polls.
Proven track record as a Pan-African, as a foresighted uniting factor, is going to be of immense value to our region in matters of ensuring that our region is peaceful, managing the different conflicts in our continent.
President Ruto said Odinga had shown all qualities to lead the African continent, saying so far he has been able to traverse the continent to sell his agenda to other heads of states.
His proven track record as a Pan-African, as a foresighted uniting factor, is going to be of immense value to our region in matters of ensuring that our region is peaceful, managing the different conflicts in our continent.
Kenya's President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni said Odinga has the ability to transform the continent's security and boost intra-Africa trade that is now below 10%.
We are supporting the candidature of Raila for the chairmanship of the African Union, but the real powerful, he will help us to do some mobilization and some, we call it what, brainstorming.
A veritable flip-flopper, Raila Odinga has been swinging like a pendulum in the Kenyan political theater, oftentimes compromising his political stance and half-parading, handshaking, BBIing, and joining the government of the day in outright betrayal of his political following. In June 2024, when the Kenyan Gen Zs erupted in protest after the government underhandedly tried to enact laws and policies deemed punitive and outrageous, Raila, who was expected to stand in solidarity with the disgruntled factions, judiced his way into the government camp after his party was offered 5 cabinet positions. Such has been the case since 2007, when the whole country believed that he had won the presidential election but was shortchanged by the ex-president Mwai Kibaki. It is on these grounds that the significant number of Kenyans feel that he holds no moral capacity to lead the continent. They also want him back in the country to balance the political equation, for he still is a force to reckon with in Kenyan politics. That being the case, it appears to me that many Kenyans have forgotten that Raila was the African Union High Representative for Infrastructure and Development from October 2018 to Feb 2023, and having been in the corridors of the AU before, he must have left some hairs in that space that might pull him back more than anyone else. Also, Kenya unsuccessfully fielded a candidate for the same position back in 2017, Amina Mohammed, and spent about $500 million Kenyan shillings. This being the second time Kenya is trying in 8 years, the eye of compassion might just spot him as well. With that said, my wish for Raila is absolutely the best. A straight win. The little time that I've known this man, I've learned that he has been a Pan-Africanist all through. He was among the pioneers, the initial architect of multi-party democracy in this country. At some point, he was incarcerated for agitating for democratic change in Kenya. Also, the 5 times that he's lost the election, it was not because he entirely lost it or he fairly lost it, but he was rigged a couple of times. At some point, he settled for half bread for the good of the people. In my opinion, plus a lot of other things that he has done and fought for this continent and this country, he deserves it. And this also would be a good consolation for a man who has done so much for his people. Yeah. So thanks so much for watching. Remember to share, follow, and subscribe, please.